We'll keep it here for 10 days, and every 2 days we'll come here and shake the bag. When we shake the bag, it's when the nutrients in the bag is going to be released into the water, and it's those nutrients that we need when we are applying the tea in the crop.
Pests are yet another challenge that a small-scale farmer has to control if food security and increased income is to be attained. In seeking to eliminate the use of chemicals and herbicides to control pests and diseases in crops, the training center is researching into biological means of managing pests.
We are doing the push and pull techniques where we repair the pest by using other plants, like on another plants. It means we sacrifice one crop as to save the other one from the attack of the pest or any disease. Like what we are doing now, a push and pull, we have got sorghum that pulls in the pest, and the other legumes like groundnuts, soybeans, and cowpeas, those have got the power to repair or to push out the pest.
The organic farming practices seek to equip small-scale farmers with skills to identify and harness materials that are readily available and affordable. The farmers that have dared to practice the principles of organic agriculture are apparently reaping the benefits. One such farmer is Mr. Titus Kawe of Chongweruru. Mr. Kawe is among the many beneficiaries of KATC Agricultural Training Center. He and his wife, including some of his children, have attended more than 9 different courses offered by KATC. His farm is a typical example of crop diversification. It consists of a variety of crops that include maize, pigeon peas, beans, cassava, and some soil-fertilizing trees that include sun hemp, velvet beans, diffrosia, to mention but some.
After undergoing training in organic farming at KATC last August, I wanted to try and make some compost manure, even if we don't have adequate water here. We cultivated a 10 by 180 portion and applied the compost. It was Seedco 621 that we planted. When we harvested the maize, I was very impressed with the yield. In the 2002-2003 farming season, the yield was so good that we managed to buy 3 herds of cattle. In the 2003-2004 farming season, we noticed that the portions where we had applied compost manure yielded a better harvest. After selling the produce, we earned more money because we hadn't spent money on fertilizer at all. We continued to ensure that our animals were reproducing and multiplying. As I talk to you now, we have 14 heads of cattle. With the increase in the number of cattle, we have also seen an increase in the amount of animal manure. Around April, May, and June, we gather and heap animal manure in readiness for composting. Due to lack of adequate water supply, we use the water for bathing and washing dishes to pour on the compost heap, the same compost manure that we later apply in our fields. In the 2003-2004 farming season, I planted almost a hectare of velvet beans. I harvested 2.5 tons. Market for the produce was found in KATC. We earned some good amount of money. I called together my family to discuss how best to spend the money. We resolved that we build a better house, as you can see behind me. I have benefited a lot from engaging in organic methods of growing crops like cotton and the like. If you entered my house, you will find some decent beds and beddings. You can see the satellite dish up there. we too are able to watch what you people in town watch.
Another small-scale farmer who is beginning to experience the difference since he switched from conventional to organic agriculture is Mr. Stephen Mazibuko of Chifuvundabunda in Chongwe district. He recalls the kind of challenges he used to face with school fees and general upkeep. But since he began to practice organic farming, he is beginning to see a drastic improvement in the life of his family. He can now afford to pay school fees for his daughter Gladys, who is doing grade 9. He also testifies that he can now afford to buy iron sheets for his house, which things he never used to afford before he went into organic farming.
The benefits of organic farming are that we don't spend money for inputs at all.
So uyu mwana amene ali pakati apa uyu achoka kutengama school ndalama pamene tinati kujoina mukati muchitenchi mu organic pachera bakalibe kuteretera.
Before we joined organic farming, we had a lot of debt. But now that we are into organic farming, money comes more easily. Even our diet as a family has greatly improved. As you can see, we have groundnuts, cowpeas, name them. We have all the food we need. Look at our house. Those iron sheets you see were bought because of organic farming. Since we received training in organic farming from KATC through Mr. Chilala and his colleague, our lives have improved tremendously. My family now has become food secure.
One of the major impediments that small-scale farmers face is the lack of access to information. In response, the farmers in Chinyunyu came up with the idea of forming a Farmers Information Center. KATC Agricultural Training Center came in to mobilize the community and help build the structure, while the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, provided the equipment. There are presently 5 computers that are fully connected to the internet. The center is powered by solar. The Chinyunyu Community Multi-Purpose Telecenter also has a shed to which the members have access.
They used to have difficulties in accessing information, but now with the coming of the telecenter and we have computers that are connected to the internet, these farmers are able to communicate and see what other farmers are doing elsewhere within Zambia and outside Zambia. We have seen a lot of farmers coming to access information such as pest control, others coming to search for information like how they can grow chili. We have seen farmers coming to access such kind of information. So we have seen that it is a step ahead in developing the farmers themselves in terms of information.
Small-scale farmers in Chongwe district who are practicing organic agriculture have cooperated to form an organization called Chongwe Organic Producers and Processors Association, CHOPA. Among the objectives it set to achieve was to promote organic farming among smallholders in Chongwe.
And they also wanted to improve market linkages because that was one of the problems that they faced as organic farmers. They couldn't access markets simply because maybe the products that they were producing was too few, because you know how it is with small-scale farmers. And then also because of the earlier thing that I said about access to input loans and the other thing, they wanted to negotiate on behalf of the farmers better, input, payback rates and all those kind of things. And then they also wanted the association to be strengthened in terms of capacity building and all that kind of thing.
Members of CHOPA are now able to access such facilities as loans for equipment, certification, and information. Most significant is that they are now able to collectively produce sufficient quantities that make economic sense to satisfy large markets.
Because if the end result of all this formation of CHOPA was to improve the farmers' livelihood out there through them having access to income. So we provide them with all this information. So I think it has changed, and most of them are appreciating it.
Through training farmers and extension officers, KATC Agricultural Training Center has tried to promote organic agriculture at operational level. However, there still remains a gap at policy level, which leads to the need for higher level training, such as a degree training program.
KATC is looking at establishing a School of Agriculture for a university. It could be the Catholic University in Zambia, it could be the University of Zambia Great East Road campus, it could be in collaboration with Matters University in Uganda, which is already running such a program. In its lobbying effort, KATC does liaise with the Ministry of Agriculture, which is a key stakeholder. So to that effect, we are working with the Ministry of Agriculture, other relevant policy makers and stakeholders to try and see how best we move forward into making the School of Agriculture a reality.
The study, which was commissioned to assess the suitability of KATC to host the School of Agriculture, found that most of the facilities were available. Some needed to be upgraded and others built from scratch. It is a strong belief and passion for KATC that it is a possibility and it can be done.
Also, some students studying at the UNZA, the University of Zambia, go to KATC for their practicals. So they learn there on the ground the things that maybe they have studied in books or in the classroom. So we feel that even now, even though we are not a university college, we already contribute to the School of Agriculture at UNZA.
A university cannot exist in isolation. We must be seen to be relevant. And by collaborating with KATC is one area where we can demonstrate that. KATC, I mean, they have problems like that, which they face on the farm, but they don't have laboratories to do that. And in actual fact, it's not supposed to be their mandate to do it. Everybody cannot have their own labs to be able to test everything like that. So they come to us to research on those problems, and we provide the solutions. The beauty with the KATC as well is that they interact with farmers directly. And so when we provide the solutions to KATC, we know that those solutions go directly to the farmers.
In fact, KATC Agricultural Training Center is ready to actualize its ambition sooner than expected.
If we went the way of going with either the Catholic University or the University of Zambia, where such a program is not yet offered, it would take longer. In that, would need to develop the curriculum and the training materials. So in that regard, we'd be looking at starting 2012.
The School of Agricultural Sciences will be very receptive to that. We'll be very receptive to that because we think that in those specific areas where KATC wants to endeavor in, they have a niche in there. So that niche can be developed. The niche of organic agriculture, that can be developed. And like I said earlier, there are those people who would want to pursue organic agriculture at a higher level. Probably the myths that we have about organic agriculture there, they have not been researched. Okay, and over here, we are offering a general degree in agriculture. We may not delve so much into organic agriculture. So what we get, we may not have researched that well. But if you have somebody with a passion in organic agriculture and you train people at a degree level, then they'll be able to carry out some research as well. But most of the people who are promoting organic agriculture right now are just some private people, and there are few of them. And the extension workers, they are only at a level of diploma, so they can't carry out research. We need people who can do some critical thinking in that, and I think KATC can have a niche in offering this degree program. It's a unique one. They will be able to deal with it, at some detail.
Through a holistic approach to evangelism, the Society of Jesus that is running KATC has an obligation to serving the present generation and that of the future.
And by taking care of the soil and the environment right now, we feel that we are able to take from the soil what we need right now for our food, for our harvest, for our production, and we're able to put in something in the soil that will ensure the future. So we're being just to the soil and to the environment now and as well as in the future.
It is hoped that the relationship between government and KATC Agricultural Training Center will grow stronger. So much so that when the time of starting a university comes, it will be realized that actually both parties are on the same side of developing the one nation, Zambia.